This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. But my background on my Zoom is Toronto because I'm hoping to make that my home very, very soon. Fingers crossed because Toronto is awesome. Awesome. But my guest today here on May the 13th, 2023 is from across the pond in the UK. And he's been a guest on here before. And I am currently supporting his very unusual film called The Witches of the Sands. Folks, I give you its director and star, Tony Mardon. How do you do, Tony?
I'm really well. Thank you, Greg. That's lovely. How are you, my friend?
Well, I've had better days, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got terminated recently from a job, but you know what? Um, I'm gonna
Do,
move
do you-
past I'm gonna move past that in a year. I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna realize, I didn't need to be around a lot of the people at that job, and
Mhm.
mhm.
I hear that. Do you know I didn't mention earlier. I got fired from my job at Christmas, from my little part-time job. Uh, because I was very rude to my manager because he was such a dick, and yeah, so that was that was the end of that. But yeah, you don't need to know about that. But yeah, so we're in similar positions, or have been. It gets better than that, and fingers
Well,
crossed about with moving to Toronto.
I had somebody trying to basically cut my throat, but
Mm,
here's the thing I'm gonna say about the hospital here in Fredericton. They'll never have, or at least not likely ever have somebody that will um, do an 18-hour shift for them when 17 people call in, quote unquote, sick. You
mm,
know, that's
mm. Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of times 17 people calling in sick is usually horse shit.
yeah. Of
They,
course, yeah.
yep, yep. They won't have somebody that's going to pick their phone up like I do because
Mm,
a lot of people, and I always had a lot of these calling in sick people say, you don't have to answer your phone. You don't have to. Well, yes, I do because they hired me.
mm.
So I'm hoping to land a better hospital job at a better hospital,
Yeah,
and
fingers crossed, definitely.
fingers crossed. But yeah, yeah, I had a prick that I had an argument with too, and I don't want to make threats, but it would probably be best if that prick never be caught alone with me, because I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to get arrested for making his face unrecognizable to his family.
Mm,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's
yeah,
it. That's it. Yeah, change the subject quick.
yeah. Yeah. So I understand when you say you had an argument with yeah,
People can be dicks, can't they? At the end of the day, that's the thing.
yep, yep, but that's okay. I don't need their company.
Yeah.
They could sit there and they can choose not that they can be understaffed. They can be understaffed,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly.
Yep. So nonetheless, I'm in good company today. I'm in the company of a very creative mind, and we're going to talk about The Witches of the Sand, which is a very creative film, and you get a flying killer sandwich in the film. I mean, how? I mean, you can't unless you're talking killer tomatoes. You can't get too much more creative than that. So I've never looked at a sandwich the same ever since seeing that. So
Yeah,
there you
that was
go.
that was really near the beginning. That was one of the first ideas I had to open up the fridge, and there'd just be nothing in there but a sandwich on a plate, and then it kind of launches itself, from there, and a very
Hmm.
deadly spawn type mouth opens with these teeth in it, and then every turn it goes into sort of Evil Dead 2, you know,
Yeah,
on my face, which is really good fun. Yeah, I loved it. Really, really enjoyed that. Really good
yeah,
fun. It's crazy. It certainly is a crazy film. So yeah.
yeah. So I like the film. I like what so far what I'm seeing of the film, and I've interviewed a lot of people from it. So, yep.
You have,
So,
yeah,
yeah. So I know that I really appreciate the fact, that I had bought the Blu-ray on it, and you put me also on as my picture being in the film. So,
yeah.
yeah, I think
We've got quite some really sort of fun ways to show people's pictures. I didn't want to just do. Usually you get, it's like a wanted poster in the background or something like that. And I I won't give anything away, but the it's quite, we wanted to do something a bit fresh and a little bit different, and I think you'll enjoy it when you see it. Yeah, I mean, the photos aren't in the background. Put it that way. You're going to get a good screen time with it. So yeah, it'll be
okay.
fun.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing what happens there,
The thing
So,
is, it's got, we kind of find this weird sort of postmodern vibes about it. We can kind of get away with doing pretty much anything our little brains can come up with. So we're getting away with sort of a lot of crazy shit that you probably couldn't sort of do in a sort of standard 90-minute film. We were kind of playing with audience sort of expectations of what they think they might see in a film. It's
mhm.
to a certain extent. Obviously, it's very low budget, but we're trying to use that to our advantage as well. So, I think people will be surprised. I think you've probably seen the teaser trailer, which is
Mhm.
great. Which shows a few bits and pieces, but it doesn't show a lot about what the film's about and the other side to it. So uh, yeah, there's a lot more to look forward to. I think definitely.
Well, it's low budget, but it looks very ambitious. It's definitely creative. Now, I got the IMDb page up here, and it's like a who's who. I've had so many of these people on now. Deborah Lamb I've had on here, and I know she's very supportive of it. And
She is.
by
She's very lovely.
by the way, Deborah Lamb did well, when I interviewed her, she did the Doubtfire Face Challenge for suicide and depression awareness, and she nominated you for that, by the way.
Okay, tell me more. Tell me more.
I've had several of my guests have done this, but it involves you. It's for suicide and depression awareness. You take a
Mhm.
pie in the face and you nominate three people.
Okay.
And she took a pie in the face, and her husband came in afterwards and asked her if she'd done the challenge.
Excellent,
Oh
lovely.
my goodness, it was so
Uh,
funny. But
I well,
I've been wanting to get Deborah Lamb back on here too at some point. I know she's
yeah,
been busy, but
yeah.
sh-
She's
but
got a
but
lot going on at the moment. I think.
if you decide to do the challenge,
Oh,
nominate three people from the
okay,
industry. Yeah,
okay.
because I'll get the industry involved. But Deborah
I'm
Lamb
making
did
a,
the
I'm making a note.
yeah, because you were the one of the people that she nominated, and
Okay. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you very much for that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, she
brilliant.
did it. I'll have to send you the interview because she was on there. I forget how long she was on here for. It was quite a while, but
Okay.
she went into her kitchen. She did that,
Mm.
and I
She's
thought
a sweetie. She's a lovely lady, Deborah.
I love Deborah Lamb. What a
Yeah.
cool cat she is, and
She is. She is.
yep. But I had her come on here. She's one of the writers on here as well, and
Okay.
I got well acquainted with her on here, and I think she's awesome. And I mean, this is one of the big reasons why The Witches of the Sand kind of stands out better than a lot of indie projects to me, because you got somebody like Deborah Lamb, who's not a stranger to the industry. She's
Mm.
done stuff, and she's one of the writers behind this. So I mean that's a hit and a half for you. So
Yeah, it was great. I mean, so basically, she filmed her scene, and then I mean, I don't know if I talked about this last time I was on. But basically, I think if I remember rightly, she was having a week in Philadelphia, if I remember rightly,
hmm
and she got in touch with her friend Mark Bonacore, and they basically filmed. I came up with the idea and for this scene, and where Deborah plays one of the witches. one of these kind of the original witches of the sands, one of the like the powerful witch kind of thing, who curses the Markways and the family. And so basically, and Mark had access to these suits of armor, and this and I think it's about four minute scene, and they filmed it all, professionally and beautifully. They scored it. Absolutely. I mean, they couldn't do enough. And so Deborah wrote that part of the film, yeah. And it's beautiful to look at, and they're basically going to start the film with that scene. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's like I say. I mean, her, Donna Lee Heising, her and her team did an amazing job of filming their scene as well, and others as well. Tommy Rutter in the UK. I wanted to do like I'm a massive fan of the Twilight Zone, massive Rod Serling fan, and I wanted to have like a sort of a nod to Rod in it, and so Tom played sort of the Serling character, and beautifully, and then again filmed it all beautifully, and he's a great filmmaker, and it looks stunning, So it's all these little bits and pieces that come together, which are amazing. And also like, we've got sort of three sections of animation. We've got this amazing stop motion section, and then we've got the computer animated section as well. That's Debbie and Mark Stewart, and I mean, it's what's great about Witches is that everyone. It comes together and puts their 100% in because they believe in what we're doing, and like you say, it does. It looks fantastic. It betrays the budget. It rises above what it should look like almost. Well, definitely, yeah, and that's because people are really happy to help out, and they see who else is on board, and they kind of think, oh, can I get involved? And and but we went out for a couple of drinks last night with Andy, the director of photography, and Jay, one of the special effects guys, and then another guy called Mark, who he wrote the great book on 70s exploitation called Theme 70, and my brother came, and we just ended up chatting, and basically I'm moving to London. We went out because I live in Kent. I'm moving up to London, and we thought we'd go out for a few drinks, and we just all these little ideas just keep cropping up. We must have written about three more films. When we all get together, everything happens. It's amazing sort of collaborative experience, and I think that's the important thing about Witches is everyone's helping. Everyone helps and does amazing stuff. Which is great. Yeah, that was a ramble. Sorry.
Well, I've interviewed quite a few people from this film. I mean, Linnea Quigley's been a guest on the show. So is Donna Lee Heising.
Yeah.
Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist has been on here a couple times. Lynn Laurie I've had on here. I love Lynn.
Lynn did an amazing scene for us as well. I mean, it was really, she basically plays I won't give too much away. It's a really fun scene towards the end of the film, but basically she's got it's a voodoo doll type thing. She was dressed up like the veil and the table and the pins are it's really very cool, and she did a brilliant job. I mean, everyone's done everyone who's involved has really sort of stood out and done loads. Linnea was absolutely lovely. We did some stuff on Zoom. And same with Michael St. Michael's, and
I was just going to mention him. Yeah, Michael St. Michael's been a guest a couple times on the show.
Right, he's a bit of a legend.
Barbara McNaughey I've had on here as well.
She did a lovely. She shot a lovely scene for us as well. Yeah, one sort of, but both very sort of postmodern. Again, I won't give it away. But we got to sort of play a very sort of a diva-ish Italian film star. It's very funny. And
Genevieve Rossi, I've just had on here for the fifth time here.
Oh
recently.
Wow!
Yeah.
Again, I mean, it's funny. I mean, Barbara, I've kept in touch with Michael. And every now and again we'll comment on Facebook, so most of us have kind of kept in touch a bit. Eileen, there's a horror convention in the UK the week after next. No, sorry, it's next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in Sheffield, which is a great con. So Eileen's actually going to be there. So that'll be the first time I actually meet Eileen. So that would be nice.
Oh,
So that would be cool. And then Kane Hodder and the whole Hellraiser cast there. So Simon Bamford, who played Butterball Cenobite in Hellraiser 1 and 2, he came down a couple of months ago, filmed with us again, and with Lawrence R. Harvey as well, so who's been in it before. And so Simon will be guest up at the con, so it'd be nice to see him again. So it's just a nice vibe, you know. It's a friendly vibe. You know, I had Lawrence and Simon up, you know, all night in a restaurant. It was a kind of big weird restaurant scene, and with everyone, a lot of naked people walking around, and the crazy chef and the sous chef who's like a cross dresser with this weird mask and stuff on, doing bizarre things in the kitchen. And so obviously we had to wait for the restaurant to shut. If they shut it, I think at 6 or whatever, and we got in, and I got out at 6 in the morning. I think I was absolutely exhausted, but yeah, it was good. So I'm looking forward to meeting Eileen. I'm looking forward to seeing Simon again. Yeah, so that'd be good. That'd be good. I'm just up there to promote Witches. You know, I've got a sort of a new photo book, and we've got postcards and stuff, and giveaways for Witches, which would be nice. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
yep. Now, Lawrence Harvey, I've never had on here from Human Centipede, but I have
Mm.
had Ashley C. Williams on here, who I actually met. She was in Human Centipede, and of course, you got Lloyd Kaufman in this. You got
Yeah.
Lindsay Drew. You got Beverly Randolph, and of course, Brink Stevens. You got a lot
Yeah.
of names in this.
Yeah, we're very, very lucky. I mean, Beverly, Beverly, and well, I'm a massive fan of Return of the Living Dead. You know, I think it's got everything that you want. I mean, it manages to be kind of actually hilarious, but also kind of petrifying at the same time somehow. You know, and it's just got a great script by Dan O'Bannon. It's just a lot of fun, you know. And so to you know to chat and talk to like Linnea and Beverly was amazing. To get them involved was really fun. Brink, yet again, I kind of grew up watching, you know, Sorority Bayes and the Slimeball Bolorama and all this sort of, you know, I think she was, yeah, hot tub scream queen hot tub party, and all that, and you know, and all this some party massacre, whatever. And yeah, so it was great. It was great to have her in and talk to her. I can't think what else you mentioned then now. Who did you, Lloyd, yeah, again. Lloyd was really interested in having witches to have it as a trauma film. You know, it might happen. I don't know. I just until we kind of get a rough cut together, I'm not worried worrying too much about what I'm going to do with it. We'll see what happens. But that was a real confidence booster for me, because that was quite near the beginning. I'd never made a film before, so, you know, a feature film, so that was great. And chatting to someone like Lloyd was amazing, because again, trauma
Mm-hmm.
was a big part of my teenage years. You know, class of Newcombe High and Toxic Avenger and Surf Nazis, and you know, it was crazy. So yeah, having all these people on board was amazing, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it's gone and blew my mind actually. Lindsay Drew Honey was amazing. She came down, played a witch, Emmeline Proctor, and we had her on the beach. It was getting a bit nippy, but it was getting a bit cold. Yeah, and we had her down again for the theatre scene, which again was really fun. Lawrence is a lovely guy. Absolutely lovely. You know, I'm sure he'd come on if you asked him. But he's an absolute sweetie. You know, he's really nice, very clever, very learned. Knows a lot about films. And funnily enough, one film we both absolutely love is It's a Wonderful Life, which is obviously nothing like what you'd expect, I suppose. But we're both massive
It's
fans of that.
I've had the little girl on my show who said that famous line, every time a bell rings, an angel gets
An
his
angel gets his
wings. You
wings.
know,
Yeah,
I
play
had
Zuzu's pedals. Yeah, yeah.
I had
Fantastic.
her on the show. Yep. I've had
Wow, that is
Mhm.
so cool. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean,
She's still around. Yep.
that's
She's still
cool.
around.
That's very cool. Yeah, I love that.
Catherine
So yeah,
Grimes.
yes. So yeah, I've been very lucky with all the people we've had on. Yeah, definitely. There's a couple of people I'd love to have had on, but didn't quite work out. Like Caroline Monroe, I'd like to have had on, um,
Oh, I
and a couple of
love
others.
Caroline. I just met Caroline at Horrorama last year. Now, she was a guest on my podcast back in 2016, and I had the pleasure of meeting her last year, and what a vibrant woman.
Yeah,
I love Caroline, and I had her sign a bunch of Blu-rays and she got a lot of business from me, I'll tell you
yeah.
that. But
She's lovely, isn't she? But it's the thing is when you give Caroline something to sign, you think, well, what am I gonna get done? Because the catalogue of work is outstanding,
oh,
absolutely
gee.
amazing.
I know her best from the Golden Voyage of Sinbad, but I got her
Yeah,
to sign my Blu-ray of that, my Blu-ray of Maniac, my Blu-ray
nice,
of Slaughter High, and I also got
beautiful.
her to sign a bunch of pictures. Like I bought some pictures off her table, like
Yeah.
all my like, and she was really cool that she signed a freebie for me.
Oh, I
But
love it.
here's the thing her manager was with her, whom was the one that put us together back in 2016. And one of the things that they found surprising is I still had Caroline's phone number from back then. And I kind of looked on my phone and said, "Hey, I still got your number." And they were quite happy that I never abused that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
You know?
That goes a long way. That goes a long
Yep.
way, doesn't it? Was that Jane Crimmins, her manager? Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know Jane. I know Jane. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, maybe you can make something work with Caroline. Isn't there still a
It,
possibility?
it, it is possible. I know she's busy. We're kind of coming to the end. I think it got to the point as well. I think the restaurant scene kind of took a lot out of me this time. It was a really tough one to organize, and I love the creativity of making films. I love the directing. I love acting. I love the writing. But when it comes to the logistics, I wish I had someone else to do it, because you're getting you got to work out the location where people are parking, the catering, money, the props, and what time people are getting there, what time people, estimated wrap times, all things like that, and that's all the stuff that make my mind explodes. And it took a lot out of me this time. There was quite a few people there, it was quite a busy set, and it went really well. It was brilliant, and it couldn't have gone any better. Actually, it was a very bizarre, very surreal scene. Lots of people basically reciting one line from Richard III, sort of over and over and over, while stuffing their face with cakes and then getting high on weird mushrooms and things. It was very bizarre. There was sort of naked people walking around getting cattle, and then the cattle gunning these restaurant diners. It was really bizarre, but I think it was a great. It's great. I mean, it's a great. I love it. Um, but yeah, and I just thought, well, I can't. I'm not going to write. I can't keep adding bits in. I've stopped. Now we've got one massive scene in August, which is
Mm-hmm.
we've got a great SFX artist called Dave Fox. He's already started designing the demon. It's gonna be really kind of impressive, like full head to feet, appliances and body paint and everything. And a knight, so we've got to get a hold of the suit of armor and everything. Um, and then we've got a couple of other little bits to shoot in between now and then, and a couple of days in the studio, just to tie a few bits and pieces together, and then we are done. And that, and I, and then we'll see, if we need any pickups and maybe some, bit of extra S effects or whatever, a bit of extra um, uh, 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 computer, After Effects. We're not really going down the CGI, road. We tried to do everything, practically. But there's a few bits and pieces that will need touching up a little bit. But yeah, then the idea is then we should be hopefully get it out at the end of next year. So that's the plan. So I imagine at some point you're going to ask me when what we need to do, and when's it going to come out.
You know
So
what?
yeah,
Here's the thing. I've been following, but at least you're making something. Like I've had people come on here doing these indie movies. They do a
yeah,
lot of talk and a lot of talk, talk, talk. and nothing comes out of it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're actually making something, and not only are you making something, you're making something creative. Like I saw the teaser trailer. You seem to have a lot of energy and expressive in your film, but you had Deborah Lamb being one of the writers. Would you say that, and correct me if I'm wrong, would you say she was one of the gunning points to getting a lot of these names in the movie?
Um, Possibly. I mean,
Hmm.
I was obviously aware of Deborah.
Yep.
And we were friends on Facebook. And I just sort of sent her a message, saying, this is what we're doing. This is what I'm doing. Are you interested? And and I was so pleased when she said yes. And what again? What excites me, what motivates me as much as anything else is the fact that you kind of meet these people and talk to these people, and they're actually really bloody nice, you know, and you actually meet people who are genuine. Now that's not to say everyone I've worked with on this has been great, but the vast majority have been absolutely fantastic and continue to be, to continue to support us, which I find, uh, you know, I find amazing actually, because I've kind of got no right really. I've got no, I did the short film Libra, which is going into an anthology, and I've done a couple of other bits. But that, even I started that after Witches, so I had no right really to expect people to come on board, because this was the first time I'd done anything like this. Um, so I don't know how it happens, or the stars aligned somehow, but yeah, I mean, I think yeah, Deborah was one of the first people we got, and Lynn, um,
Hmm.
and then and Brandon Crane from It. So I was friends with him anyway, and
Oh
I
yeah.
and Eileen. So she came on board. Brandon did a little thing for me, which is really funny, really good. And then once I had a couple of those names, it was easier to then to approach other people. And especially when I started getting the Indiegogo campaign together, because we'd done the sandwich, shot and stuff. There was, so people could actually see a few things and think, okay, that looks interesting. I think people like my enthusiasm as well. That's what people
I do too.
seem to get
I
it.
do too.
Seem to that sort of attracts a lot of people. The fact that it's some fresh ideas and that kind of commitment. No, so we're committed. I say we because I kind of put it together, but say people like Andy and Dave and Jay and all these people, Harvey, all these people have helped and have continued to help. So it's become a more of a collaborative thing. We all kind of chip in where we can. But yeah, like you say, it's been what, 3 years now, I think, since I started it. And it's been, there were times when I just wanted to. There were days when I'd wake up and I thought, what the fuck am I doing? Excuse my language.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, cool. In that case, fuck the
Yep.
fuck. No, there were days I woke up and I was like, what am I doing? I haven't got a clue what I'm doing here. It. And there were other days, most of the time, I'd wake up and think, this is fucking amazing. I'm having such a great time. I'm creating something I think is, really good. But I don't know when we took the last time. Yeah, I mean, it's cost me. I mean, it's not financially, but it's cost me a lot in terms. I mean, I separated from my wife about a year ago, and
I'm
that
sorry.
was, nah, it's cool. I mean, that was a lot to do with, not totally to do with the film, but a lot to do with it.
That's
A lot
okay.
to do with
I separated from my job at the hospital here in Fredericton too, so
it. That's right. Yeah, that's exactly it. Exactly it. So it's taken its toll on me. And I think I look at some of the first scenes we shot with me in it. I look about 30 years younger, than I do now. It's like I don't know exactly what's happened there, but no. So yeah, I mean, there was, and financially, it's taken its toll. But as I say, I wouldn't change it for the world, because of all the positives that have come out of it, and also I've met a lovely young lady now as well, who is American, funnily enough. I know you're Canadian, so it's not what I'm saying. But yeah, yeah. So there's many positives to be taken out of it. Although, like I say, at times when I thought that was popped into my head when you said, people talk a lot about doing stuff and then it doesn't happen. I kind of understand how it doesn't, because it's so fucking draining. It's, but but that's why it's important to have all these great people around me,
Yeah.
who can sometimes see actually Tony's struggling a little bit. This let's help out. Let's do what we can to make sure everything's going. But no, now I would say I was in a pretty shitty dark place for a year. I turned 50. I separated. I had to move back in with my parents. I mean, with they're great and everything. Don't get me wrong, but lost my job, lost my wife, lost my house, turned 50. It doesn't get
Oh,
moving back
gee.
in.
Well,
It was a rough time. But I say now I'm loving life again, and I'm looking forward to getting this done. Uh, Everything is going in the right direction. Enthusiasm is there, and as I say, I'm very happy now. So moving to London, and that'll be exciting. That's like a lovely lady. So yeah, everything's looking good. Everything's going in the right direction. So yeah, I would say back to Witches. Yeah, one sort of big scene with the demon fighting the knight, and which we're going to do all in the studio. I want it to be kind of very aesthetically quite stark, sort of smoke, but very much like the last scene of one of the last scenes in Excalibur, which is one of my favourite films, where when Mordred and Arthur sort of kind of kill each other, and it's like that kind of smoky but very kind of red background. It's clearly in a studio, and but I really like that kind of aesthetic, and that's what I'm going for with that scene. A couple of other bits to say, and then we are done. Then it's all on to post, which makes me happy. Yeah.
now is your girlfriend gonna be part of this film?
She already has been, actually. Yes.
Nice. Oh,
She.
I tell you what, when you do the Doubtfire challenge, do it with her.
Oh, good idea. We
There
can
you go.
try each other.
There you go. I just
There.
thought that would be a fun idea. But
That's
yeah,
a
is
that's
she
a
an
good idea.
actress or
She has done some acting. Actually, she has done it. She has acted. She did some stage work with directed by Neil LaBute, who did company no company
Nurse
company.
Nurse Betty?
There you go. And he did the Wicker Man remake as well, I believe. He directed
Yeah,
the
we're
Wicker
trying to
Man.
forget that.
We do. But yeah, so she's done stage work until she came down. She was in the restaurant scene with us. She was very good. She was brilliant. She played a character called Alexis. She was a bit off herself, but she was, not my girlfriend. I mean the character. Yeah, so sort of a mash of Rolex and Lexus. So we kind of made a Rolexus, which we quite liked. And
That's
yeah,
her
no, she was
name in
great.
the film?
Rolexus, yeah.
Okay.
Everyone had some. Everyone in that sort of thing. All the diners were kind of quite unpleasant characters, kind of sex slave traffickers and and pedophiles and things, which is how we kind of, which is so when they all die at the end, everyone's like, yes, because it's almost, it was a little bit annoying actually, because I wrote the scene before the menu came out. Have you seen the menu?
I have,
Which I
yeah.
really liked, and it's not the same, but it's a very similar concept. The diners are all quite unpleasant. I mean, and then we've got this weird chef, and when I watched the menu, I was like thinking, this looks very similar to the restaurant scene. But yeah, but then we cattle gun all the diners, which was fun. Yeah, so yeah, but anyway, where was it? Yeah, so yes, she is an actress, but she's also a writer as well. She's written an amazing book called Deathlines. It's just come out this month. It's about horror film locations in London and tours you can go on to go around to certain um, uh, locations and the best ways to do it and what underground to get to where and what bus to get to where. And it's very cool. I just said I said you should have had the closest pub to each location.
I should reach out and have her on the show
Oh,
and have her
she'd
talk.
love it. She'd
Yep.
love that as well. She's also got a podcast as well.
Oh, nice. Well, here's the thing. The more people, because I've had a number of people on here from Witches of the Sand, and
mm,
you're not the only one I've spoke to about it. I spoke, of course, obviously Deborah Lamb has been on here
mm,
talking about. When I had Lynn Laurie on, um, I don't know whether it was before or after she had shot her scenes, but I remember when I
yeah,
talked to her, and Genevieve Rossi, of course, has spoke about this, and Donna Lee Heising, like you've gotten some promotion out of me on
that's
this,
cool. Thank you. Well,
yeah.
I'm sure Lauren would love to
Well, you know
love to
what?
come on.
I'll reach out. I'd love to have her. Is she on Facebook?
She's not on Facebook. She's on Insta. But I'll give you her details after we finish.
Yeah, after we
Cool.
finish, yeah, send me her details, and I gladly have her on here and talk to her about this. Yeah, so
Perfect. Yeah, she'd
I
love that.
love
Yeah.
the name. I love the name Rolexus. You know, I'm like, that's a cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is, isn't it? We gave everyone some really crazy names for that scene. I mean, they're never spoken, but I think what I did as well, I gave everyone has a little bio of their character. I gave all the actors little character bios, and it wasn't necessary, but
Hmm.
I just think it helps this, if people understand a little bit where they're coming from, and I think maybe it didn't, maybe it did. I don't know, but I think it was a bit fun as well. People kind of were talking about their different characters, and so I made them really quite despicable. These people, so it was quite nice. Yeah, there was a couple. There was two ladies, and they kind of the lesbians, and they were. It turns out they were twins. They were separated at birth, but they loved each other so much they kept their relationship going. They were sort of they were co-joined. I mean, at the hip. So, but they decided to stay together, and they were sort of. They deal in yeah, I think they traffic children, which was nice. But yeah, so yeah, but there's little characters like that, and I think that helped them being quite unpleasant and nasty. They kind of understood what was going on a little bit, which was nice. Yeah, but I'm sure Lauren would love to come on. Yes, definitely.
Okay. Well, I'll look
She's from
forward to.
North Carolina originally.
Well, I'll look forward to getting you the info. You send me her info, and I'll
Perfect.
reach out and have her on, and we'll further promote the Witches of the Sand. I forget how
Beautiful.
I got involved with this film, but I just remember, like I said, my I got to go ahead the Blu-ray, and my picture's going to be in the movie, and
Yeah,
I'm excited about that, and I've seen the progression, like like it's so ambitious, like you got stop motion, you got like you got so many filmmaking styles in
yeah.
this, like it's like I don't even know where to begin, like where your inspiration was for all of this, but I love its bizarreness.
The inspiration is literally from my sort of childhood and watching horror films. I don't know. I've said this before. On a Saturday night that we'd have a double bill. Talking late '80s probably. There'd be a double bill on TV. Like Amicus films, Hammer films, or whatever. Then there'd be certain other time there'd be sort of Universal stuff, and we'd record it. And on a Sunday morning, my mum and I would sit down and we'd watch the double bill on a Sunday morning. Before my dad got up, or whatever. And that was I remember that very fondly. And so there was those sort of influences, but it wasn't just about the film. It's about that sort of feeling of excitement of you're young and you're watching a horror film. I wanted to kind of recreate that, but also and as I said earlier about all this, like you said, all this different stuff going on. Which the way we've kind of written it is we can get away with pretty much doing what we like, which is fantastic. So yeah, we've got all these sort of weird references to films, which you'll see references to the Twilight Zone and Giallo and slashers and found footage and ghost, like paranormal activity type stuff, and I don't know. There's a lot for horror film fans to enjoy about it. I think sometimes with a lot of films there's no kind of there's no enjoyment in watching it. Sometimes you kind of you watch it because it's there and not necessarily because it's given you anything different, or I think what I wanted to do was create something on a small budget that didn't conform to what you'd expect from a micro budget film, and that's kind of what we've done. I think it's very funny. There's a lot of humor in it. blood and gore and everything you'd expect like that. There's huge amounts of nudity, male and female bits and pieces flying everywhere. It's it's not the most politically correct film in the world, so I don't know if we're going to get in a little bit of trouble, but I think there will be some sort of censoring, I'd imagine, when we submit it. But that's why we want to do our Blu-ray, the Indiegogo Blu-ray first. We know we can get it out there uncut, so that would be nice.
Absolutely.
But yeah. So I lost my train of thought and I can't remember what I was saying. But yeah, I started rambling about stuff, and then that's that. But no, it's I'm excited. Yeah, that's like inspiration. Yeah, so my love of horror films, but I lived through the Video Nasties experience in the in the 80s when and it was like then the whole the I don't know if you know the Jamie Bulger case in the early 90s where two kids killed a toddler. And then it's turned out, it was over the front page that these two kids had watched Child's Play 3.
I remember that.
And it kind of turned out they hadn't even watched it, I think, if I remember rightly. But it was there, it was rented by the dad or something like that or whatever. And there's all this, these stupid papers like the Daily Mail splashing, ban all these. But I think they wanted to ban every 18 certificate video at one point. This was, it was absolutely crazy. So, it's funny though, because back in those days, in sort of 80s, 90s, it's almost you'd go to these sort of horror cons or film fairs, and you'd be like under the table with like you were with like the Evil Dead or Texas Chainsaw Massacre or whatever.
Well, here's a question I have. I wonder if these people would ban The Passion of the Christ, because that was rated 18.
Exactly.
I wonder if The Passion of the Christ, and I love The Passion of the Christ. But I love throwing that in the faces of especially these church groups, that are against R-rated films, because I can't think of too many films that were as graphic as The Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a very fair point. It's exactly that, isn't it? It's that sort of knee-jerk reaction to
But I
things
wonder if it was, instead of a Child's Play movie, if it was something like The Passion of the Christ, I wonder if they would have bat an eye.
I'd imagine they choose to ignore it.
I bet they would. I bet they would.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet they would.
Of course. Yeah, which is crazy.
Although I love The Passion, don't get me wrong.
It's a great film. I haven't seen that for a while, but I remember I'm really enjoying it. I've got a list of list that keeps growing, things that I've seen before and I can't remember very well. I think I must watch that again. Got to watch that again at some point. The trouble is, there's so much coming out all the time, isn't there now? And Netflix and streaming services and this and that. That it's almost impossible to keep up. I mean, I'm not saying that there's a huge amount on Netflix or Amazon or new stuff that I particularly want to see. And I like to go back and revisit, older films a lot. But yeah, but it's definitely hard to keep up with the ever growing list of films to watch. Definitely. Yeah, but no, you're right about that. But yeah, it was just weird. It was weird because we'd be sort of buying these sort of videos and then the DVD came out. Just all these things were under the counter. You can't be seen with Driller Killer, whatever. And now they're on TV, or you can go to the shops and buy it for a tenner. It's changed so much. It's very bizarre.
Look, in 1971, A Clockwork Orange and Straw Dogs, and to an extent Dirty Harry, were banned in various places in the world. 30 years later, Freddy Got Fingered comes out with Tom Green, gets an R rating. And yet you look at Freddy Got Fingered and it's like, how in the hell did that not get an X rating with the stuff that it had in it, Like today, go figure,
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen that actually. Do you recommend it?
No.
Should I watch it?
No. I like Tom Green, don't get me wrong, but no, Freddy Got Fingered is something that you don't watch,
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. But
cool.
You know, watching somebody get shot with elephant semen is not high on my list of something I want to see
Oh,
again.
okay, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that's something I need to watch.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't. But
yeah,
now but now I'm mildly curious. I
yeah.
don't know.
Although I've met Tom Green before, you know,
Okay.
lovely guy, you know, but this is what happens when you give him free rein on a film. You get
Right,
pretty,
right, right. Yeah. Where's the
yeah.
filters? Where's the filters? That's what people are very good at filtering some of my ideas actually, because some of my ideas have been a little bit extreme,
Hmm.
and people be like, "Damn, you can't really do that." But okay, you know.
So what's it like across the pond right now? I've never been in the UK before, you know. Like here, we're getting
Well,
into the spring weather here in New Brunswick, Canada, you know, and but what's it like where
we,
you are right now?
weather wise, it's okay actually. It's been quite sunny. I do quite a lot of running, and I've been out and it's been quite warm. It's been quite hot. Now it's okay. Then every now and again we'll have like a little shower or a small storm or whatever. Um, that's the weather. I mean, the UK at the moment is a very strange place. We've just had the coronation, and everyone's sort of got their bunting out and their flags, and it's all a bit crazy.
Well, tell me, when you're out running, are you running from killer sandwiches?
Well, that's exactly, yeah, exactly. And curry sandwiches, witches, and demons, and glasshead Gus, and Gulgar Gertie, and the chef, and the sous chef, and the demon, and the vampire, the druids, and many other crazy characters we got in there. The mummy, we've got a mummy in there. We've just actually, we've just done a set of top trumps cards. Top trumps cards. So you've like basically like different characters. We've got a pack of 40 with all different characters on,
Oh,
and from the film.
tarot cards. Yeah, I don't do anything with those, you know. Um I don't know much about. I know I come from the Christian faith, you know, so um but
Oh
I
no, no, not
certainly.
tarot. No, no. Oh, I see what you mean. No, not tarot. The trumps. So basically, you get the character, and it's got the picture of them at the top. Then you've got 5 categories, and each category has got a score for the character.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
it's a little game. It's a card game. It's a card game.
Okay, never
And
heard of it. No.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's big. It used to be big with the kids. I mean, I don't know if it still is, but it was good fun anyway. So we made sort of 40 character cards, and then for this trumps game, um, and it was interesting because it reminded me just how many crazy characters we've got in it, and we've probably got enough characters for another set as well. So we've got like a bearded lady and a minotaur and a living dead girl and a ventriloquist dummy and this weird sort of talking growth thing on the side of me which is inspired very much by Basket Case. All this very odd stuff. Then we've got the knights and the witches, and it's absolutely bonkers. We've got the sort of the sort of the Appalachians and the weird carnival, and yeah, I'm really excited about it. So really excited about it actually. When I see the pictures and remember everything we've done and and we've only got a little bit left to do, it's kind of it cements it.
Okay.
It makes it more real. Which is great. And I can't think of it. I can't really think of a film that's got so many crazy characters in it. Bonkers. I mean, they might not be in it for very long. Of course, what I should say as well, of course, is that very sadly, also we had Giovanni Lombardo Radici down a couple of months ago. Johnny Morgan, I think you're probably known as, and Silvia Colatina from House by the Cemetery. And we did a scene with them, and a month or two ago. And unfortunately, poor Johnny passed away like last week, a week before, and so we've kind of I need to talk to Giovanni's family. We're going to hopefully dedicate Witches to Giovanni. I think it was his second to last film. He did something else just afterwards. But when you think about all he's been in like Cannibal Apocalypse, Cannibal Ferox, City of the Living Dead, Fortune, the Omen remake, and all this amazing catalogue. Well, Beyond Fury that I was in as well. And amazing catalog. And he was, he was a really lovely guy. And that was kind of tainted everything a little bit because it was it was very sad. Sad that happened. Um, but yeah, so that was don't know bring the mood down, but yeah, it was weird because we spent the day with him, took him out for dinner, and then a little bit later, poor guy's passed away. So that was a bit of a shame. So yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I think it's important I mention that because it's in our thoughts so that was a shame. But yeah, yes, sorry.
No problem, no problem. Well, you know what? I look forward to seeing The Witches of the Sands when it comes out. It sounds to me like it's gonna be one hell of a creative process, and I look forward to seeing the finished product when it's ready. So I'm glad I'm part of it,
Thank you,
and
sir.
I was delighted to have you come back on here again and chat about this, and send me Lauren's contact info. I'll
I
definitely
will
have
do.
her on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
do. I will do. Yeah, and her podcast called the London Horror Movie Club. Where she talks about films and then she does little minute things about locations in London where certain films have been shot. It's really good. I think you enjoy talking to her. Yeah,
You
definitely.
know what? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, I would love that. I would love that. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to plug and promote on here before we close off?
Well, let me tell you. So we we did a film called Libra
Mm-hmm.
last year. So we basically we were invited to participate in a film called Horoscopes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a great idea. So there's 12 horoscopes, signs, 12 directors, each randomly given one of the star signs, and then they come together into an anthology scene. So horoscopes kind of works really well. So we got Libra and we made Libra, and unfortunately it was a little bit extreme, and so they decided to go with it to go with another to make another one. They didn't really kind of want ours in it, which is fine. It's not a problem. They're great guys, no problem at all. So when we were left with this, the Libra, which was great, and it's a great little film. I'm really proud of it. It's only sort of 6 minutes, and the music was done by Paul Wiley, who did the music for Terrifier 1 and 2,
Oh, love
and
those. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And he's played like he was Marilyn Manson's guitarist and stuff. And he sort of got in touch with me about witches. And then we said, well, actually, we're not quite ready for that yet. We have got this lead, this film. We just fancy doing it. And he went, yeah, yeah, cool. So it was great to have him do that for us. And anyway, now it's found. Anyway, so now Libra has found it at home. And I don't know unfortunately, it hasn't got a title yet. If it's an anthology film, again, the it's basically based on the seasons. So Libra sort of fits, not seasons, holidays. Sorry, Libra fits into the Valentine. Then there's a Halloween section, there's a Christmas section, and another section, Thanksgiving, I think it was. So yeah, so can't tell you what it's called yet, so I would say look out for that, but there's no point because it hasn't got a title yet. But so I'm excited that Libra's found a home, and it's got the same one of the animators who's working on Witches has done a lot of the animation for this, and it's very Creepshow-esque
Oh,
animation. It's
nice.
very very cool. It's very cool. Libra's about a guy. I can't give too much away, but he keeps finding little maggots in his flat, and then after a while, he kind of he finds them in some really disturbing places as well. I won't go into any more than that, but that's one of
Mm-hmm.
the reasons that
Kind of like just kind of like the cockroach scene in Creep Show.
Creepshow, exactly. Yeah, I would say the maggots get into more intimate places than than you see in Creepshow. Uh, but yeah, I won't give too much away. But it's a great little story. I'm really proud of it actually. And I was co-directed by a guy called uh, James Newton, who's a great director. I've worked with him quite a lot as an actor. So we've just done I've done a new film with him, and then you've got a film called Copernica coming out, which is a kind of a sort of surreal horror. Uh, Black Lizard Tales he's done as well, which I was in. That was great. That's available on Dark Side Releasing in the States. Um, so those coming out, and I'm off to Norwich in 2 weeks to play a detective in a short film called New Year's Eve. I'm seem to be playing detectives quite a lot, which I quite like. I'm quite enjoying the detective vibe at the moment. Uh, Makes a change from the baddie, so that's nice. Yeah, I think there's a couple of other bits and pieces coming up, I think, in the pipeline, but nothing's set in stone yet. So but yeah, so I would say keep a lookout for Witches next year, the end of next year, and Libra in a film that I don't know the title of, which doesn't really help. But yeah, but that's it really at the moment. I'm just I'm just really concentrating on getting Witches on. Oh no, I should say as well, Video Shop Tales of Terror, which I did like a fake advert, a fake trailer for. That's doing really well at the festivals, the horror festivals. And I was in that as an actor as well, and I directed a trailer called Don't Sit on His Face, and it's about a guy who grows, when he's aroused, he grows a drill bit out of his mouth. Hence why you shouldn't sit on his face. Hence why you shouldn't sit on his face. But that was really good fun, and we did the trailer for the sequel as well. Don't Sit on Their Faces, which Lawrence R. Harvey is in as well with a good friend, Mike Butler. And so that was good fun. So they're really good fun, really sleazy kind of old school grindhouse style trailers. Really taking the mickey out of the whole don't trailers, which we did. I didn't realize that what's his name? What's his name? Edgar Wright, wasn't it? Who did? And he'd done something very similar. Obviously, much bigger budget, but he'd done a sort of don't trailer as well, which is if you haven't seen it, check it out on YouTube. It's very good. So yeah, we did something similar to that. So yeah, Video Shop Tales of Terror is great. Really good fun. Again, it's an anthology. So check that if you get a chance. Second one's going to be out next year, I think. Mosaic is another film I was in. That should be out next year. So yeah, it's all bits and pieces going on. Still quite exciting. So there you go.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? I look forward to The Witches of the Sand, and
Thank you, sir.
come next year, I'd like to have you back on, and check on the progress, and
Yes, please.
and hopefully the film will be ready for release, and
Yes.
yeah, we'll be to talk about it in more detail. Send me
Amazing.
Lauren's info, and I'll have her on, and
I
we'll
will
further
do.
promote this. Yes, The Witches of the Sands, folks, with Tony Mardon and a host of familiar names from the industry in this. I've interviewed several of them, and of course,
sorry. Guys, I should just say as well, Ian McCulloch was great when he came down. From Zombie Flesh Eaters and Contamination and Survivors and stuff. Lovely guy. Lovely guy. He was absolutely stunning. He drove down from Scotland, which is a sort of 6-7 hour drive. Guys in his 80s. He was absolutely fantastic. We did a day's filming in Essex, and then we had another day in Kent on the Sunday. But just quick story. It's quite fun. We were I was driving Andy, the DOP, back to where we live. It was about 9 o'clock at night. We had probably about an hour's drive. We were shattered. We'd been there all day, from dawn to through to the night. And we were driving back, and then the phone in the car went, and it was Ian. He said, "Right, where are we going for dinner?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" I was absolutely shattered, and Andy was shattered. But it was Ian McCulloch asking us out for a curry, and he said, "Right, guys, it's on me. Let's have a couple of beers and a curry." And I think we got to the restaurant about 10. We left about midnight, and we had to be up again. The next day. I mean, I was shattered. I wouldn't change it for the world, because it was an amazing time, amazing experience. And I think that's Witches that has brought me so many of these amazing experiences. Through meeting not just well-known people, but for everyone who's helping out, which I really want to kind of say again, because that's apart from the fact we're making what I think is going to be a great film. It's given me a huge appreciation of people that I didn't really have a lot of time. Before I was quite a I'm not the most sociable person. I've got a friend group, but not a big one. I kind of keep myself to myself. Uh, but now, like last night, I went out with these people, and it was great. And it's just so I think it's really important. I just say thank you to everyone really for everything they've done for the film and for me, as a person. Definitely, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you know what? It was wonderful having you come on here today. And because it's not every day I get people that are ahead of me in the time zone. You're four
Yeah.
hours ahead of me, and but nonetheless, it was wonderful having you come on here and promote this film. And
Thank you.
all I could say is keep creating. I love your imagination, your enthusiasm, your spirit, and keep doing what you're doing. And hopefully, after the Witches of the Sand, we'll see something else even more creative come out of it. You've got some nice connections and to
Yeah.
people in the industry, and that can go a long way.
uh, Because I was talking about when we get together like last night, we kind of always thinking about ideas and things, and some of the crazy ideas we've got for films. One of them is three sex offenders and a time machine, which is great. The Nastivity, which is kind of says everything. Death Wank, which is I won't go on about them now, but it's a great idea. And I really like Placentipede as well, which made me giggle. It's about killer placenta. But so yeah, these are ideas that probably never get made, but they're a lot of fun to talk about when you're having a couple of beers in the pub, definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you,
Well,
sir.
Tony, before I let you go, would you mind doing a plug for my show?
Of course.
Just state your name and that you're the director and mastermind behind The Witches of the Sand, and
Yeah.
say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Hey everyone, my name is Tony Mardon. I am the director of The Witches of the Sands, amongst other things. I am on Python's Paradise with Greg Gilbert, and I've had an amazing time. Let's give it a listen.
Yes, and we love you, Deborah Lamb. If you
We
happen to
do.
be tuning in, yes, we love you, Deborah Lamb.
We do. We do.
Absolutely, and we'll have to get Lauren on here,
Perfect.
and chat her up as well about the Witches of the Sand. I am so excited about this project. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. Me too. Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's been great to talk to you again. I've had a thoroughly lovely time. Thank you. Thanks for letting me ramble.
Well, you know what? We'll do it again. We'll do it again. I'll put you on the
Beautiful.
roster for next year, and we'll further talk about it. Hopefully, by then, maybe the film will be released. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Anyway, you take care. God bless, and keep creating.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
All right. Take care.